everyone. It's time for lunch. I am hungry as usual. This feels like product placement. It's not product placement. You know when you're watching like a Hallmark movie and they zoom in really awkwardly on a canister of Folgers or Toll House chocolate chips? That's not what this is. But we are using chicken stock to help us make our recipe today. I'm making orange chicken with rosemary and toasted garlic, and it is from this cookbook called Food Swings, 125 plus recipes to enjoy your life of virtue and vice, and this is by Jessica Seinfeld. Yes, that's Seinfeld. That's the one. I actually really like this cookbook. This one is from 2017, and I didn't know we had it. So again, you can always just browse through the cookbooks or ask us to help you browse through the cookbooks, or just search cookbooks on bccls.org, because there are so many ones that maybe you may have missed, and they're really fun. So the virtue half of the book, that's full of recipes that are on the healthier side. They're great for every day. They're not super complicated. Baked vegetable chips, kale and avocado salad. What else? Cabbage bowl with citrus, avocado, almonds, and coconut. That sounds good. Quinoa chili. That is not silly. Roasted beef tenderloin with a chimichurri sauce. What else? Mustard, Worcestershire roasted chicken. A morning salad. Oh, that looks really good. Look at that morning salad. And then at the top, like a lot of books that I use, there are these little headers. So the baked vegetable chips, they're vegan, gluten-free, and dairy-free. The recipe that we're doing can easily be gluten-free. I'm going to try to make it grain-free, so we'll see. And is dairy-free, of course. Baked eggs with tomatoes, spinach, and Parmesan. That sounds good. And then the other side of the book, it's full of stuff that's more indulgent. A shrimp scampi, sweet and sticky pork ribs. Let's see. Key lime pie, chocolate banana pudding, vanilla cupcakes with chocolate frosting, chocolate fudge cake, corn chowder with bacon, green enchiladas. Oh my goodness, I'm hungry. It's a good thing it's lunchtime. Crispy fish with tartar sauce. What was that? That looks good. Pork chops with a tarragon mustard sauce. I might have to try this. Look at that. That looks really good. And I love tarragon, and I like pork with mustard. I think it's a good combo. Eggplant cutlets, pasta al forno with bacon and breadcrumbs. And so, like, even so, you can kind of, aside from the desserts, you can see that the things in the Vice chapter are not even that bad. And you can definitely easily swap some things out. Like spicy eggplant pasta, you can easily make that gluten or grain-free depending on your pasta. You don't need to use cheese. You can use whatever you would like. Lasagna bolognese. Goat cheese and dill quiche. That sounds amazing. That actually sounds great. An olive oil cake. So, I mean, that's the book. Obviously, I'm enjoying looking through it. I looked through it a couple of times, but every time I look through it, I'm like, oh man, that does look good. And the recipes aren't really overly complicated, which is nice. So we're going to get started with our orange chicken with rosemary and toasted garlic. I have everything ready to go. I've got my skillet over here. And I am hungry. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to pat your chicken dry and season it with salt and pepper. Combine flour with paprika, and we're going to dredge the chicken in here. And it's not a batter, it's not a heavy coating. What we're trying to do is just get a little browning and crisp on the chicken, but we're not deep frying, so we're not making a batter. So I'm going to put my salt and pepper in here because I'm trying not to make extra mess. I already have a huge mess. Because I finally finished filming the chocolate bomb recipe for the teens next week, so there's There's a lot of chocolate behind me right now. So I'm doing my salt and pepper here in the flour and a little bit of paprika. And I definitely do regular paprika. Don't do a smoked paprika. It's going to taste weird with the rosemary and the orange juice. How much paprika are we thinking? About a teaspoon. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a little stir to get this all uniform. I am using, we're going to test it out. This is the experiment. I do have a gluten-free flour blend, but right now I'm attempting to not eat grains, so it has rice in it, so I'm not going to have any rice. So I'm just trying, and I've done this before with other recipes and even with wings. I'm going to try, this is tapioca starch. You can use arrowroot. If you're not opposed to corn, you can try cornstarch. Corn is a grain, so at that point just use rice flour. Okay. Dredge the chicken in seasoned flour, shaking off the excess and place on a clean plate, blah, blah, blah. In a large skillet, heat the oil over medium heat. Using tongs, add the chicken and cook for 5 to 7 minutes. Flip and cook for 5 to 7 minutes more. So I'm going to heat up my oil. It's not going to take that long to dredge this chicken. I'm just going to put it right in there again. I don't feel like dirtying up another plate. This is just how it is. It's the middle of the workday, folks. Middle of the workday. I don't want to dirty up a million dishes. All right, so my chicken is defrosted and ready to go. Go ahead and pull it out, put it on the plate, and then from then on I'm going to be using my tongs, so I'm going to wash my hands quickly. Beware, the tapioca powder is very powdery, so you are going to have it just explode everywhere. Okay. Put this in the garbage and wash my hands, and then I'm going to use the tongs. How's everybody's hands? You getting enough lotion on your hands to keep them from drying out? Because we're washing them constantly. And of course, a lot of us are also cooking a lot more at home now, so we're still washing our hands constantly and washing dishes constantly. Make sure everybody has lotion. Okay. So I'm just going to, I'll move this over a little bit so you can see better. There we go. So I'm just going to kind of flip this. We're just, like I said, doing a light coating. It's just to get a little crust, but not to do a deep fry or anything. It just, and restaurants use this trick all the time, even with fish. They'll just kind of do a light coating with a flour just to get a nice browning on there. Flip you over. Give it a little flip. And I'm just kind of brushing off the excess, making sure they're totally covered. So I chose this recipe because, first of all, it's really nice and clean. There's just nothing bad in it. And also because I was like, orange and rosemary with garlic, that's a combination I've never heard of or tried before. Orange chicken, I love orange chicken. But that's a, you know, orange chicken like from takeout, that's a totally different mood. That's a totally different thing, right? That's not the same. So I kind of was curious about this, and I had some rosemary that I bought a couple months ago that's been in my freezer, so I figured now's a good time to use that. So see, I'm just kind of giving this a little tap, a little shake. I don't want there to be clumps of this flour mixture. I don't want it to burn in the pan, but again, it's not about having a batter on it. It's just about browning and a little crisping. So we're gonna put this in the oil carefully. There we go, got a nice sizzle, which means we'll get a nice brown. Same thing here, just gonna do a little shake, 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 shake. Shake, 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 shake. Put that right in the pan. Very nice. kind of like a medium-low heat. My stovetop gets pretty overheated. It gets aggressive. It likes to show everybody who's boss. So I'm just kind of going a little low. This pan heats up really nice and hot too, so I don't need to have it on an aggressively high heat. Shake, shake, shake. Put this down. Good. Make sure there's enough oil for the last piece. And then I'll shake the excess off into the garbage and put it in the sink while this is cooking. So I'm using like a little chicken breast tenderloin. This recipe is great for any, I think it's going to be great for anything, but I call specifically for the chicken breast, and these little tenders, they cook up so nice and easy, which is why I love having them in the freezer. Alright, into the sink we go. Which is where my tripod is precariously perched. Actually not, I have a better tripod this week. So we're not at risk of falling over. For once. I have a plate over here ready and waiting for when my chicken is all cooked, because we'll put it to the side. And then we're going to make the sauce without the chicken in the bowl. I'm pointing to the book. Right there. So I am going to switch to a wooden spoon once we get to the sauce, because we're basically going to deglaze this pan. So any little browned bits of chicken that might be in there, the leftover residue from the starch is still going to be in there, which is important because we're going to pour in our chicken stock and orange juice. There it is. And the little bit of leftover starch in the pan, or flour, or whatever you're using, is going to help to thicken the sauce. Of course, the sauce will thicken a little bit from the orange juice dissolving and kind of cooking out and steaming up. But the little bit of starch, I believe, I mean, this is a hypothesis. This is what I know from cooking the way that I do. Should help thicken it up a little bit. But also the wooden spoon helps to scrape up any of those little brown crispy bits, because we want that flavor. We want to save it. We don't want it to go to waste. And this is great because this is like a one-pot meal. I'm using up a couple of dishes, but not really getting anything dirty. Everything is just in this one pot. This is great. So I can hear my chicken sizzling and getting happy. Make sure there's enough oil here. About like another minute before I flip them over. And then I already have my garlic. So this just calls for garlic cloves that are peeled and smashed, but I also minced a little bit in my garlic press. That's what it's called, garlic press. Just because I didn't want to have, so the point is to have like some of these whole garlic cloves toasted to put on top of your chicken, but I wanted to have a little bit minced in the sauce as well. Alright, I think most of these pieces are ready for a flip. And there is a nice brown on there. Are you ready? I think you're ready. I think that this tapioca starch is working. So tapioca starch, you could also find it called tapioca flour. Same thing. I guess this piece is ready. All right. Come on, my friend. There we go. So there is just a little light crust. I'll bring it over so you can see. Here we go. So you can see there's just a little light crust from the tapioca starch. Sorry, this is getting mad at me because I'm turning my phone too much. Anyway, this box over here, that's what I was using to prop up my tripod last week. So that's why there's a box here. And now Licorice just likes to play in it, and I feel really bad getting rid of it. Also, the hot cocoa mess in back of me. But it's fine. Alright. But you could also see in the pan there was definitely some brown starch, some of the leftover seasoning. That's all in the pan too, so we're not gonna lose that. Add a little bit more oil. I don't want it to dry up and burn. I probably didn't add enough oil to begin with because I eyeball everything. One of my favorite things about this cookbook is that she is very non-pretentious as a chef. And in almost every single recipe that has meat in it, especially chicken, she actually says, go ahead and cut your chicken to make sure it's not pink inside. Like, that is, I know so many chefs who are chefs, so many people cooking in their homes who are just starting out and they're like, I don't know how to tell if my chicken is cooked and I don't have an expensive or fancy thermometer. And she's like, just go ahead and cut it. Just cut it. There's no shame. You're making this for yourself. Do what you gotta do. I love that. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of start to strip my rosemary from the stalks, and just get that ready to go in with my garlic. You still need some time over there. I still see a little pink right around the very edge. I'm just gonna go ahead and take my rosemary and get that ready. It says about 2 tablespoons of rosemary. They're supposed to be fresh, but this is good enough, right? And you can, if you want, ooh, it smells so good. And if you want, kind of like tear up your little rosemary pieces to make them smaller. Do a little bit more. You know, that one still needs a little more. That guy on the end needs some more time. This is very relaxing, and it smells wonderful, by the way. I'm just also kind of making sure to, like, squeeze the rosemary to release the oils. Alright, I think that's pretty good. I have my rosemary and my garlic ready to go. Put this aside. Alright, let's check the chicken. I'm going to flip them one more time and kind of rotate them through the pan just to make sure they're all cooking evenly. There are no hot spots in the pan. Come here. Come here, chicken. They look good. I'll bring you over to show you again. All right, I'll bring you over. And then make sure you take a little look at the brown bits on the bottom of the pan. All right, here we go. So see in between here, there's some goodness that's on the pan. We want to keep that. So we're going to deglaze it with the orange juice and the chicken stock. About another minute. So I already have my orange juice measured out. We'll do the chicken stock next. This is about half a cup of orange juice, and we're going to do half a cup of chicken broth. Any kind of chicken broth you like, bone broth, reduced sodium, whatever brand, it does not matter. We'll put this back in the fridge. chicken is ready. So, this looks so good. All right, buddy. You need another second. That little buddy just didn't get brown on one side, so I'm gonna finish browning it, but take a look. So you can see there's just a really light crust, but it's not a batter. And it just adds some texture and adds to the browning. I do this also on wings when I make wings, because I don't batter my wings. I don't make deep fried wings. But to get a little extra crispy, you just toss them in a very, very light coating of like cornstarch and baking powder. Or just baking powder. I've seen a couple recipes, but I can do this with the tapioca starch too. Any of these light starches, anything just to give it a coating helps to crisp the skin up. And it's really, really neat and a great grain-free way to have your crispy chicken and enjoy it. All right, what do you think? You're done? You're ready. You're ready. So I'm just going to make sure that this is nice and low. I'm going to lower it a little bit more because garlic burns very quickly. So I'm going to put in the larger chunks of garlic first so we can get them toasted. This is a toasted garlic recipe. So I'm just going to go ahead and let them go. These nice smashed flat pieces, which there are several. I'm going to add a little bit of extra oil to the pan as well. It says you can do that if you feel like you need to. And I'll add the minced pieces in with the rosemary. I just don't want them to burn. There we go. There's another nice large piece of smashed garlic. Okay. A little extra oil. Oh, they're already frying up. I love it. Switch into my wooden spoon. Because this pan is already nice and hot, these are browning pretty nicely and quickly. Okay, let's see. I'm going to put the chicken to the side. I'm going to see if I can bring this over a little closer so you can see what's happening. Alright. There it is. So you can see it's nice and brown. I'm just going to keep moving it around and flipping it. I don't want it to burn. I think we're ready for the rest of the garlic and the rosemary. This will continue to kind of bubble and boil. So I'm going to put my rosemary and garlic in. The rest of my garlic, I should say. Ooh, it smells really good in here. And just keep this moving. You don't want anything to burn. Oh, the rosemary smells amazing. It says about a minute, so just give it some time before we toss in the juice. And see, I'm already starting to scrape up some of the bits of chicken and coating yumminess. This is great. Ooh, look at that. Garlic is getting nice and crispy, and like the recipe says, it is nice and toasted. Alright, this is super fragrant, and my garlic is just nice and brown, so I'm going to go ahead and add in my liquid. There it goes. And this is also going to help me scrape up all the rest of the stuff off the bottom of the pan. And it's stopping my garlic from burning and my rosemary from burning. But now all of these flavors are incorporating together. Like I said, there's a little bit of starch still on the bottom of the pan from the coating from the chicken. So that will help this thicken up a little bit. But I think we want to turn up the heat just a little bit to get this to simmer. It smells amazing. And after these flavors have had a chance to work together a little bit, I'm going to taste it for seasoning. It says you may want to add some extra salt and pepper, of course, so we'll see. Are you watching the pan for me? Thanks. All right, I'm just tidying up a little bit. I like to try to clean as I go so that the mess isn't catastrophic when I'm all done here. Okay. Keep this out, I'm gonna put this away. So it says simmer for 3 to 4 minutes or until thickened. We're not there yet. It smells so good in here. The smell of the toasted garlic, the rosemary. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. Like I said, I've never made a recipe like this before. Definitely different than your takeout orange chicken, which I love. But we'll see. We'll see what this is all about. All right, let's move on back because we'll get ready to just leave this here undisturbed. And we'll take another look through the cookbook and get ready to plate this out. There it is. Okay. Okay, fruit. Just a little bit more. All right, so there are, like I was saying before, there are a lot of pasta recipes in here that seem pretty delicious. And I do have some grain-free pasta. You could probably use zoodles too. What was I originally going to make? Let me see if I can find it. Oh. I was going to make this, but I decided I didn't want to spend the time baking this for almost 40 minutes. Orange almond cake with orange syrup. So this is naturally gluten-free because instead of flour, you're using almond meal or almond flour. Butter, sugar, zest of an orange, eggs, almond extract. I mean, orange juice. And then you can top it with some whipped cream. I was going to make that, but I decided I didn't want all the sugar. There was a pasta dish I was going to make. Ooh, garlic bread. I love garlic bread. I do have a garlic bread recipe coming up that we're going to do for Super Bowl week. So look forward to that because I'm looking forward to that. Where is it? What was I going to do? There's the chicken parmesan, which looks delicious. A peach sriracha chicken. Peach and sriracha. That sounds great. Sweet potato risotto sounds good. There's creamy mushroom pasta. Oh, this is so simple, but it is a little indulgent, but it doesn't need to be super bad. It's pasta with ricotta, arugula, and lemon. And that just is like so nice and simple. But it's in the indulgent side because it's pasta and dairy. But it has some crushed red pepper flakes, some ricotta cheese, some Parmesan. We're thickening up a little bit. Not that much. You need some more time, my friend. You have to reduce a little more. Getting there. Oh, the spicy eggplant pasta that I mentioned before, which is just eggplant, cherry tomatoes, garlic, crushed red pepper flakes, cheese, basil, pasta. Like, that's so easy. And of course, pasta carbonara, which I've made before. Gosh, one of my favorites. A vodka sauce. I love vodka sauce. It's just so creamy and delicious. I love a good pink sauce on pasta. I really do. Ooh, I can smell. Oh, and this is the goat cheese and dill quiche that I was showing you before, or talking about before. Look at that. That looks good. So again, that is Food Swings by Jessica Seinfeld. I have my 2 pieces of chicken that I'm going to eat now. I put the other ones in the fridge. And check on my sauce. I think it's not really thickening enough, but I don't know how thick it needs to be. It's definitely reducing. I'm gonna look at the picture again. Do I want it to be thicker? Definitely gonna make this chicken. Yes, the recipe is on our website right now for a limited time only. And next week's recipe is already on the website too. I did that this morning. Next week I'm going back to Michelle Smith's Real Food Every Day. You all know I love Michelle Smith's cookbooks, the Whole Smiths. And we're making a Mexican-inspired pizza. So if you want to cook along with me next week for lunch, definitely go grab the ingredients list and you can cook along with me. But it smells amazing in here. So while you are cooking this, you are going to just be super, oh no, it's not really that thick. You're just going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to eat this. All right, I think we're good enough. So I'm going to grab a spoon and I'm going to spoon this over the top and we're going to eat. I'm going to eat. I don't know about you. Grab a little bit of sauce and make sure I get a nice big piece of that toasted garlic. Spoon that over the top, kind of let it soak in. It's kind of nice that I'm working from home because it's a lot of garlic. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, let me get a fork and a knife and I will give it a little taste. All right, I'm so excited. I mean, if you could smell my kitchen right now, we say this all the time at work, but like I really wish that there was smell-o-vision in here. The chicken is cooked perfectly. It is no longer pink inside, but it is still nice and moist. Can you hear the little crackle? It's nice and crisp. That's good. That's really good. So because I've added the chicken stock, the orange juice is very subtle, but it adds like a zing, a pop of brightness. The rosemary and the garlic are delicious. I have a nice little piece of toasted garlic I'm going to eat with my next piece. Sop up some more of that sauce. I love toasted garlic. It just has a whole new flavor profile. Wow. That's delicious. If you love garlic, make sure you get yourself a nice big piece of garlic on top like I did. And that's the way she shows it being served, so I'm just following along with her. Absolutely delicious. I know I didn't add a little extra salt in at the end. You might need it, you might not. I don't know if it needs it that much. I may crack a little bit just over top, but this is great. And it's not spicy, like the paprika doesn't really come out that much, but it makes it feel warm and complete. So the warmth of the paprika goes really nicely with the garlic and the rosemary, and it just adds a warmth and it rounds out the flavor without being a spicy paprika flavor. And then, like I said, the orange juice just brightens it up a little bit without being takeout orange chicken. This is really delicious. I'm probably going to heat up some cauliflower rice for myself and just enjoy my lunch while I get ready to start the second half of my day. And this is absolutely scrumptious. So I highly suggest grabbing this book next time you are doing curbside pickup at the library, or you can order it from buckles.org, Food Swings by Jessica Seinfeld. And like I said, for a limited time, the recipe is on our website on the adult page right now, as well as next week's recipe if you'd like to cook along with me for lunch. It's fun and easy next week. I'm pretty excited. right, that's it for me for today. I'm gonna go eat my lunch. Thanks for tuning in and joining me today. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all soon.